Hi, I'm Jeremy Kupsko, an informationist at the Woodruff Health Sciences Center Library, and I'll be going over an introduction to EndNote 20. First, a lot of the information I'll be going over today can be found on the Health Sciences Library website, which is at libraries.emory.edu/health. And if you scroll down, in these boxes in the center of the website under Research Tools, there's an EndNote support box. And if you click on this, you'll find a lot of the information that I'll be going over today. EndNote is also free to Emory faculty, staff, and students while you're here at Emory, and it can be downloaded from Emory Software Express. Okay, the first thing I'll be going over for this class is how to create a new EndNote library. So I'm currently using EndNote 20, and I'm using a Mac for this class. So to create a new EndNote library, I go to File and hit New. And I'm just going to name it something random here. And on a Mac, you have the ability to save it as a package. You don't have this on a PC, but when you create an EndNote library, two files are going to be created, a .enl file and a .data file. The .enl file will contain your citation information, and the .data file will have any attachments. These always need to be in the same location on your computer, such as both in the desktop or in your documents. If they're not, when you try and open it, you'll get an error message. So saving it as a package on a Mac combines these into one file, so you don't have to worry about these documents ever being put in a different location. If you're using a PC, we recommend you pull both the files, the .enl, .data file, into a folder so that they're always together. So I create the new library. Now, the first thing we recommend you do once you create a new library is to define a terms list for journal titles. This will upload over 14,000 different journal title abbreviations so that EndNote can properly switch the journal title abbreviation. So to do this, we go to Library across the top tabs. We go to Define Terms List, and we want the journals. And we go to Import List across the side here. On a Mac, it doesn't know where to look, so you need to tell it to look in your applications. On a PC, it should take you right to the terms list. So we can see a folder here for terms, and we click on it. You can see all the different terms lists that we have. You see some that look like they might be relevant, such as biosciences, medical, and zoological records here on the Health Science Society campus. We recommend you upload the medical, which is going to be the broadest of the lists. So I choose medical, then I hit choose. And you can see we uploaded over 14,000 journal abbreviations. So once you do that, you're ready to start importing citations into your EndNote library. There are 4 different ways you can import a citation into your EndNote library. The first way is using the online search called the connection file here built into EndNote. This works best if you already have an idea of what you're looking for. The second way is to go to your favorite search database, such as PubMed, and to import it from PubMed. The third way is the least preferred way, and that's to enter it manually. You may need to do this if you want to cite something you can't find an electronic reference for, such maybe you're writing a grant proposal and you want to cite a work that's in preparation or work that's in press. And the final way is you can import PDFs. And if the PDF is from 2010 to the present, it's most likely going to have a digital object identifier or DOI. And if it does, EndNote would be able to populate the citation information for you. If it's before 2010, it may not have a DOI, and it will not populate the information for you. So I'll go over an example of each of these methods. So the first method is to search for it using EndNote itself. So on this left-hand side, under online search, we can see some options. We recommend you use PubMed. That's going to work the best. So I'm going to click on PubMed, and this brings up just a basic search mechanism. You can't do the fancy controlled vocabulary searches like you can in regular PubMed. So again, this works best if you already have an idea for the paper you're looking for, such as you already know the author and maybe the journal that it's in. So I type in an author name and I hit search. You can see the results. Let's say I want to take all these over to my library. So I'm going to command click all these. And to take them over to my library, I just click on this plus button right here. And we can see now all references is my library. And we can see we added those 6 references. So again, just looking through it, not a great way to browse the literature, but it is a fast way, if you already know what you're looking for, to add a citation to EndNote. Okay, the second way is to go to your favorite search database. For this example, I'm going to go back to the Health Sciences Library website and go to PubMed and do a search here. I have a plugin on my browser that helps get the full text quicker called LibKey Nomad that you can get from the Chrome store. That just might be why my PubMed looks a bit different than what you have. Okay, to take over a citation from PubMed to EndNote, you just check next to the citations you want to take over. I'm just going to take the first 10 here. Then you scroll back to the top and you can see that there's a send to button here. And you can see the last option is to send it to a citation manager. This will send it to any citation manager you have installed on your computer. So if you had Zotero, you'd still click this. But since I have EndNote installed, this will take this over to EndNote. So I'm going to click Citation Manager, then hit Create File. You can see it went to my downloads. On a PC, it should take you directly imported in. But on Mac, you just click on it and your downloads, and it should take it over to your library. So you can see now that I added those 10 publications. Okay. So the second thing, or the third way to enter it, is to enter something manually. So to enter something manually, you go to References and click on New Reference. And you can see templates here. So again, this would be for if you something you can't find an electronic reference for, such as maybe a book chapter, a data set, maybe a patent, or so forth. So you would choose the appropriate template that we want. Let's say we're doing a book chapter. So I click on book section and you just go through and enter all the information for that reference. Just one tip for the author, it's one author per line. So if you had multiple authors, you would enter it like this. And if you do organizations such as American Cancer Society, make sure you put a comma after the end of it. Otherwise, it's going to try and abbreviate it like it's an author name. And you would just go through and fill out all the fields for the reference. When you're done, to save it, you click the close button right here. And this brings up the option to save it. And so that's how you would enter it manually. The final way you can get a citation is to import PDFs. So to do this, you go to File, and you click on Import. And you would find where the PDFs are on your computer. Okay, so this is an older PDF from 1994. So this may not have the digital object identifier. So we'll import it and see what happens. And you can see it doesn't have a DOI on it. So you just get the file name here. So this was what happens if you import an older PDF. Now let's see what happens if you import a newer PDF. So I'll go back to File, Import. Go find a newer PDF. Okay, here's a newer PDF. I click Import. And you can see this PDF is from 2018. It has a digital object identifier on it, and it includes all the citation information. Okay, so that's how you would import a PDF and get the citation information for it. So you can see that some of my citations have a paperclip next to it. This is the Find Full Text feature that allows you to attach a PDF next to the citation and to create a digital library of PDFs to go along with your citations. To set this feature up, we need to go to your preferences. So we go to preferences under EndNote 20 on a Mac. And there's two URLs you have to enter in to access Emory's subscriptions for full text. There's an open URL path and an authenticate with URL. You can find both these URLs on the Health Sciences Library website. So if I go back to our EndNote support page, it's going to be under Download and Set Preferences. So under number 2 here, we see Find Full Text, and we see these two URLs. So you can copy and paste these URLs and put them back into EndNote. And when you're done copying and pasting these, you hit Save. And then you're set up to start using Find Full Text. So once you copy and paste the URLs, you can authenticate yourself as Emory. So you can go to References, Find Full Text, and go to Authenticate. Then you log yourself in as Emory using your username and password. I'm already logged in, so I won't log in again. And then you can select all the ones you'd want to find full text for. Command A selects everything. So you can go to References, Find Full Text, and this time do Find Full Text. And you can see there's a search bar that pops up and tells you what it's able to find. We have noticed that when you find full text, if you're connected to the Emory network on campus, it tends to work the best. The second best is through the VPN. And the third best in terms of finding articles, it would be off the network, such as on your home network. So you can see that it goes through and puts a paperclip next to each one that's able to find a full text for. Scoot this out of the way. So if there's a PDF attached, you can go over to PDF. You can see the PDF here. You can make the PDF full screen. And you can also go through and annotate the PDF, such as highlighting, leaving digital sticky notes, and so forth. So it's a great way to keep yourself organized with all of your PDFs. You have the ability to save your PDF too, after you do all the annotation on it, to save all that work. I won't save it. But again, a great way to keep yourself organized, to keep all your PDFs in one location. And if you like to annotate and do everything digitally, that's a great way to keep all your annotations on your PDFs too. Okay, so now that we have our library set up, we've imported citations. We've found the full text for the ones that we could. The next possible thing to do is to organize your library. How you organize it is a personal preference. If you decide to use EndNote Web or EndNote Online, which is a free cloud-based version of EndNote that allows you to sync one library to the cloud that you can use on any computer, we recommend that maybe you want to create one large library, since you can only sync one library, and to organize it into groups. If you don't think you're going to use that, feel free to create as many libraries as you want for each different project you might be using. But if you wish to organize your library into groups, there's two ways to do this. So first we go to the Groups tab across the top. And the first thing we're going to do is create a regular group. So a regular group is just a folder that you can drag and drop citations into. So you just name it what you want. And to populate it, you just drag and drop the citations into the group. And they always stay in your main library. But now, when you click on the group, you see just those citations for that group. These regular groups do transfer to EndNote Online. So this organization scheme will transfer. The second type of group you can create is a smart group. And this allows you to enter keywords and have EndNote sort into groups automatically for you. So let's say we want to sort by author. So we enter our author. You could sort it by year, you could sort it by journal, you could sort it by keywords. So it's up to you. So once you do that, you hit create. And you can see EndNote automatically created the group and sorted the citations into it for you automatically. So this is a great time-saving tool. This also works anytime you put new citations in, they get sorted into the smart groups. Currently, smart groups don't transfer to EndNote Online, and so that's one thing to keep in mind. Okay, so we've created a library, we populated the full text, we organized it into groups. So now we're ready to go through and to start using EndNote to write our paper. So to do this, we go to Microsoft Word. And you should notice that across the top, there should be a tab for EndNote 20. If there's not, it could be a sign that you installed EndNote in the incorrect order. So EndNote always has to be installed after Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word. If it's not, the two programs won't talk to each other, and you will not see this EndNote 20 tab. Another reason the EndNote 20 tab could disappear is if there's a major update on Microsoft Office. It could lose the connection with EndNote, and you'll have to uninstall and reinstall EndNote to get this tab back. But once you start writing your paper, and you come to a point where you want to enter a citation, there's several different ways you can do this. One way is using this bar across the top. We can go back to EndNote, choose the citation we want, and then to insert it, we can just hit this quotation mark here across the top. And you can see it automatically puts our in-text citation, and it also starts our works cited page. You can insert multiple citations at the same time too. So you can go back to EndNote and select the citations you want to insert. So again, you hit the quotation mark here. And you can see it entered those citations. Another way you can do it to insert a citation is to click here for insert citation. And this brings up a search. So you can search for the article. Let's find the one you want and then insert. So another great time-saving feature is that you can use EndNote to automatically switch the citation style that you're using. So currently, this is going in the APA 7 style, but let's say I'm going to submit this paper to a journal that's part of Cell Press. So I can use EndNote to automatically switch this to the Cell Press style. So to do this, I click here and go to select another style. Here's the entire listing of all the styles. So I'll just scroll down and look for Cell. Passed it originally. And here it is. So I click on Cell, hit choose, and you can see it automatically updated my in-text citations and my works cited page to the Cell style. So again, this is a great time-saving feature. And you can see that I have in-step formatting on. This is so that any changes I make to the document, EndNote's going to recognize it and change the order of the citations and the numbering. If you don't want this on, you can always hit update in citations, update citations and bibliography to change, to update the changes made in the document. Okay. So the last thing I'll go over, one of the last things I'll go over is how you share an EndNote library. So a lot of writing projects are collaborative, and you may need to share your library with your writing partner. So there's a couple of different ways that you can share your library. One way is that you can just email your writing partner your library. So to do this, you go to File and hit Compress Library. This is going to compress the library so that it is small enough to be emailed. You can do it without attachments if you don't want them to have all your PDFs. And you can do selected references, you can email a group, or you can email your entire library. So you would hit OK, and this would create your library. And then you would be able to attach this to your email and email to a person. The disadvantage of using this method is it's not dynamic. So if your writing partner adds new references to the library, they're going to have to compress it and email it back to you so you have the updated library. There is a way to share dynamically through EndNote itself. To do this, you have to create an EndNote Online account. And so to do this, you go to File and click on Share. If you don't have an EndNote account, you hit Sign Up, and you'll create it. If you do have one, you log in. And this will allow you to sync your library again right here. And then you're allowed to put the email addresses for the people you want to share your library for. I'm not going to sync this one because I have a library already in my EndNote Online account that I don't want replaced. So I'm going to not show you this, but what you'll do is you'll essentially, when you do this, you'll have the ability to enter emails for people you want to share to, and you can give them the permission, such as they can only use your library or that they can edit and add citations to your library. It's recommended that if you give someone full permission to edit and add citations to the library, that you make sure they know how to use EndNote, because the next time you open your library, if they accidentally delete stuff, it's going to sync, and those citations will now be gone from your library. So if you're going to share using EndNote itself, just make sure that your writing partners knows how to use EndNote itself, so you don't have a disaster by them accidentally deleting your library. And another possible way to share citations is if you already have a document, your writing partner, maybe your advisor, has a document, grant proposal they wrote using EndNote. They could send you that document and you can lift their citations out of their Word document by using Export Traveling Library. So this is under the tools. And if you use Export Traveling Library, it's going to take all the citations, again, if they were made using EndNote, out of the document and put them into your library. So that's another way that you could potentially share citations. Okay, so that we're coming to the end of this quick little class on using EndNote. So if you ever run into issues and you're in Emory using EndNote, you can go to the Health Sciences Library website again. Scroll down to Ask a Librarian. Which is pretty much manned 9 to 5 every day. Enter your question, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible to try and fix your EndNote issue. Again, I'll remind you that a lot of the information I went over today is on the Health Sciences Library website, under Research Tools, under EndNote Support. So you can see EndNote 20 for Windows in 7 minutes, EndNote 20 for Mac in 7 minutes, and this goes over a lot of the same information that I went over today. You can also find more information about other topics. Okay, thank you for attending this class.